Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is August 18th, 2011. Let's get right into the charts here. What a drop we're looking at on in the futures here. Let me go to the S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that they are down 23 points at the moment. That is a big decline. The markets are under pressure again this morning. Perfect storm, if you ask me, is taking place again here. What you do have right now is you have the European Union in disarray. It looks like a lot of pressure is coming in the European Union, and we'll just see how it all plays out. There's some reports about the Federal Reserve has been meeting with the ECB to ensure that the banks in the Eurozone have enough cash on hand to survive a bank raid, and that is definitely causing a lot of pressure on these bank stocks in Europe. The European markets are down sharply this morning. You have the FTSE, which is not part of the Eurozone, but that's down almost a little over 2.5%. You have the French CAC down just about 3%, and the German DAX down 4%. So the Eurozone is getting slaughtered, to say the least, this morning, and we'll have to watch that very closely. But nonetheless, markets are under severe pressure, and we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. As you all know, when the markets are down this sharp, it can only mean one thing, that the U.S. dollar index is likely to be higher, and sure enough, that is the case. The U.S. dollar index is up by 36 cents at the moment. Decent little push here. This is not a bad little pattern here, maybe just consolidation sideways, but nonetheless, the dollar is up this morning as the market is lower. A couple of other things you got to watch for. Gold. Gold is having a pretty good day this morning. Anytime there's problems in the European Union or abroad, gold usually will trade higher. This morning you have gold trading up over $20. We're even higher earlier, and it has pulled back a little bit. But gold did make a nice big surge here. This is a new all-time high for GLD, new all-time high for the spot gold, and we are coming just back down just a little bit, but nonetheless, gold is sharply higher. Watch for oil today. Oil is down almost $2 on the spot price. You could take a look at the USO, which closed at 34.01. Today, trading at $33.31. So that is down sharply. Nasdaq Futures are getting crushed. They're down 43 points already today. That's a big slice and dice. Looks like we came into a little bit of a support level down here. I have a line on my chart that's right around 21, 22, and we've been bouncing a little higher since then. But nonetheless, Nasdaq Futures are down about 43.5 points at the moment. So this is just a bludgeoning, and the same problems. Nothing has changed. It's European crisis. It's all these banks. Morgan Stanley also lowered, I believe, their growth forecast for the year. So I'm not sure how much effect that is having. But nonetheless, it's more of the same, the European crisis. Will these banks, especially in France, be under pressure today? So we'll have to wait and see. But it's a pretty ugly open, or pretty ugly start of the day before the open for the markets. Now at 8:30, and then at 10 o'clock, we're going to have a lot of economic data. So you want to watch for this. You're going to have CPI released in about 6 more minutes. We'll see how that plays out and how the market reacts. I believe the economists are expecting 0.2% month over month change in the headline, and we'll see how that plays out. You're also going to have initial jobless claims. Lately, it's been around 400,000 jobless claims. This time could be more. Who knows? And then at 10 o'clock, you're going to have the Philly Fed, and you're also going to have, I believe, I'm not sure. You're going to have Philly Fed and existing home sales. That's it. We'll have existing home sales and Philly Fed at 10 o'clock. So a lot of important economic data going to be released. These markets could be very volatile this morning. But right now, it looks like another, pretty steep decline. And when I look at my charts overall, especially the E-minis, what you want to watch for, if we get down there, a lot of support around 1126. Now, I know that's very far from here, but in this market, we could drop 500 points on any given day, and that would be almost the norm from what we've been seeing over the past few weeks. But 1126 on the futures, that's a big level. Watch that area there. There's still a fair amount of support. That level gets taken out, then we're going to go down to 1109, and then ultimately the 1077, which were the lows on the futures going back to August 9th. But in any case, got to be careful today. This is going to be a pretty volatile market really throughout the entire session. Now, let's go over a couple of things. I talked about the Asian markets being down last night, and they were down sharply. When I look at Asia, the most important country, or the most important index, I should say, in Asia is the Shanghai index. That was down 1.6%. You also had the Sensex, which is India, down 2.2%. That's a huge decline. That tells us there's massive inflation, and these countries are really getting hit by that in a slowdown. Now, the Nikkei was down 1.25%. The Hang Seng was down 1.34%. Australia was down 1.2%. So, therefore, we have to look at weakness in a lot of the Chinese ADRs. First place I go to is Baidu. Baidu is probably the most important Chinese stock here. And you'll see this stock trading back down to yesterday's lows, and it's holding that level. Still a lot of support for Baidu around 132. That breaks, though, you're going to have to look at the daily chart, 200 moving average, which is around 126. So Baidu, if it fails to hold this current level, it could go down to that 126 level. Then we'll have to see if there's any support around there. It looks like there's going to be a fair amount. But in any case, watch Baidu for early weakness. Watch Sohu for early weakness. This one's actually behaving well, trading up, but it could get caught in this downdraft. Take a look at Sina. Let me just go to the Sina right here. Yeah, Sina's trading at 95.76. This one closed at 92.90. This is holding up well. So there are some names out here that are still holding up, but watch for early weakness. Also watch the FXI, which is under pressure already, and that will continue to be under pressure at least at the start of the day. So watch the for weakness there. Also, the Sensex was down big, so you could look at the IFN. That should be down decently. Let me make sure we have this right. Yep, that one should be down decently. It's actually holding up pretty well. And then we're going to look at Tata Motors, TTM, and that one is getting clobbered this morning. So that one will have some support around $16 if it gets down there. They'll look for a little bit of support around 16 bucks. Okay, but that's what you have to watch for. Now, some stocks that are in the news today. NTAP, okay, the storage company. This is getting slaughtered this morning. Okay, reported earnings last night after the bell. Stock took a nosedive, went down to $35, trading at 36 now. NTAP looks like it's going to be under pressure really all day long. A lot of support down here, so I'm not sure if we're going to go much further than 35, but there looks to be a fair amount of support there at that level. Let's take a look at Caribou Coffee. This one is getting hit as well this morning, trading down here at 1350 level. I think this has a little bit more to go. I'd watch the 1250 area. I think this could drop more. Maybe it doesn't happen today, but this is the level of support where this will have some good support right around 1250. So watch that level there. Whole Foods. Whole Foods was trading higher before the opening bell, and this stock's holding up okay. So Whole Foods is trading up just a touch, and that's really all I could see at the moment as far as stocks that are in the news. There's so many things down this morning, it makes your head spin a little bit. But here we have what you really need to follow is the bank stocks. Watch JP Morgan. Okay, JP Morgan, let me just get rid of these lines. JP Morgan under a little bit of pressure here this morning. Watch this stock. If this stock starts to decline, then you got to be a little bit more cautious. The bank stocks really will tell you everything you need to know. Okay, it looks like the CPI is out. CPI is out. Let's go to the futures. Get an initial dip, and then we're coming back up after making this overnight double bottom. We're getting a little bit of a push off the lows, but nonetheless, we're still down 25 points on the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Weekly jobless claims, it looks like 408,000 jobs, new jobless claims. So for the week ending August 13th, that is an ugly number. Over 400,000 is definitely an ugly number. This stage of the cycle, market should not be doing this. Shouldn't be getting this kind of bad economic data. So in any case, that's a bad number. Core CPI is gonna be up 0.2%, pretty much in line or as expected. So market's basically where it was. It did dip down a little bit. We could come up under some early pressure. We'll just have to sit back and see how it plays out once the opening bell rings at 9:30. Okay, so again, basically right where we are, even with the economic data. We are starting to drop lower a little bit here, but we'll just see how that all plays out. Again, the levels I talked about to you guys on the futures, the big level today is going to be 1126 if we do get down there. That's going to be the big line in the sand for the S&P 500 E-minis. Okay, with that said, be prepared for a volatile session today. There's no doubt about it in my mind. This is going to be an ugly day, at least initially, barring some miracles. But be prepared here and expect that kind of volatility to play out throughout the end of the day. You're going to get increased volatility. It's also options X, so you get a lot of whipsaw moves here. But in any case, sit tight. Watch a week open to start and let this market be a little bit cautious in this type of environment. Okay. With that said, everybody, have a great trading day, and I will talk to those of you there in the chat room at 9:30. Take care, everyone.